Hi, I'm Rebecca Coleman, food blogger and cookbook author, and today we're making Instant Pot mac and cheese! I know I shouldn't sound so excited about that, but I really am. You guys, ever since I got my Instant Pot, like many of you out there, I am in love with this machine. It's so great. It makes my life so much easier. Things happen so much quicker. Ugh, I love this thing. Not a paid endorsement. I just love it. It's so great. So, like many of you, I love mac and cheese. It's like one of the ultimate comfort foods, but I'm not such a huge fan of the boxed mac and cheese. You know, like I'll eat it, but I would prefer to have homemade mac and cheese. I'm kind of a snob that way. I actually have a recipe in my cookbook for a vegan mac and cheese that's really great. And what I'm gonna make today is sort of a variation on that. Using the Instant Pot is gonna make this recipe super fast and super quick so that you can get dinner on the table quicker than ever. Part of the thing that makes this recipe special is that we're gonna use cheese in two different ways. First of all, we're gonna make a cheese sauce using carrots. I know, but they actually make a really good cheese sauce. We're gonna make a cheese sauce, and then at the end, we're gonna add some shredded vegan cheese as well, just to give it that extra cheesy goodness. Okay, so let's start by creating our sauce. I'm actually gonna cook the pasta and create the sauce at the same time, and I'm gonna do that by cooking the elements for the sauce in this pan on top of my pan inside the Instant Pot. If you don't have a pan like this, don't worry about it. Just cook the sauce ingredients separately, take them out, and then cook the pasta a second time. It just means that it's gonna take you 8 minutes to make this dish instead of 4. Sorry. Okay, we're gonna start by adding to this pot our pasta. Now this is about 2 cups. I'm using penne rigate. Of course, you can use any kind of pasta you want, including macaroni, seeing as this is mac and cheese. But I really like this pasta because it's a white pasta, but it has extra whole wheat ingredients in it. So it really tastes like a white pasta, but it's a little bit healthier for you because it has more fiber. Just adding that to the pan. Next up, I'm gonna add a tablespoon or so, you can eyeball it, of vegan butter. And now we're gonna add the water. About 3 cups. Okay, so we have our pasta ready to go in the bottom of the pot. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my trivet. This is where it gets tricky, guys. And I'm gonna put my trivet on top of the pasta. And to this pan, this separate pan, I'm going to add a couple of carrots that I have both peeled and chopped up fairly small dice. And I'm also gonna add a 1/4 cup of cashews. The cashews are gonna make our sauce really creamy and lovely. Next up, I have to add some water to this so that everything cooks in there together. I'm just gonna add about 1/2 cup of water. Which is good, because that's all I have. Now, I'm actually gonna cover this pan with some foil, just to make sure that it cooks really well in there. I'm gonna put that on top of my trivet inside there, put the whole thing in the pot, and we're gonna set it to 4 minutes. Okay, the 4 minutes is up on my Instant Pot. What I'm gonna do is release the steam, and then after that's released, we're gonna start to build our sauce. So I've released the pressure, and now I'm gonna very carefully open my pot and take the lid off. I'm gonna be careful of steam. And, oh, there's lots of bubbling going on down there. And I'm gonna take out the inside package that has our carrots and our cashews in it. Just taking the foil off of that. And that's gonna go directly into my blender. Now pasta's down here in the bottom and it's all cooked and ready to go. It's a little bit watery in there, but that's okay because we're gonna build sauce and we're gonna add it to there and everything is gonna come together beautifully. Okay, we're gonna build the sauce in the blender and here's what we're gonna put into it. We've already added the carrots and the cashews into there. And in addition to that, we're gonna add some lemon juice, just a couple of tablespoons. We're gonna add some nutritional yeast because this stuff makes everything taste delicious. And cheesy. Again, a couple tablespoons. Next, we're gonna add some flavoring. So obviously we need some salt. I'm gonna go in with about a teaspoon. I also really love the flavor of smoke, so I'm gonna add a little bit of smoked paprika to mine. And you just need a little bit, like maybe about a quarter or a half of a teaspoon. Next up, I'm gonna add a little bit of onion. Again, about maybe half to a teaspoonful. And a little bit of garlic. There we go. Now, the last thing we're gonna add to this is we're gonna add the things that are going to thicken the sauce and make it cheesy and gooey. And that's two things. The first is chickpea or garbanzo bean flour. And so this is just chickpeas that have been dried and then ground into a flour. It adds, again, a really nice creaminess and a cheesiness to the sauce, and it's also gonna thicken our sauce for us a little bit as well. The other thing we're gonna add to this is tapioca starch or tapioca flour. What's great about tapioca is that, again, it's gonna thicken your sauce, but tapioca has this special sort of quality that makes it kind of stretchy and gooey. So it's gonna really give it that kind of real cheesiness. And I'm just gonna add a tablespoon, maybe a tiny bit more, tablespoon and a half of that to our mix. The last thing I'm gonna add is some non-dairy milk. You can use whatever you have on hand. This is going to both allow our sauce to really blend together well, but it's also gonna add extra creaminess to our finished sauce. Oh, and to our macaroni and cheese. Just gonna do about a cup of that. And now on with the lid and let us blend. Okay, our cheese sauce is all blended up and ready to go. And what I'm gonna do is I'm literally just gonna pour this directly into my Instant Pot with the macaroni, well, penne, and I'm just gonna add it all in there together. The other thing that I'm gonna add to this are some vegan cheese shreds. Now I'm using Daiya. You don't have to, you can use anything that you like. Any vegan cheddar cheese will do just fine. I think I have about between a half and a cup's worth in here. A little less than a cup, that's what I've got. I'm just gonna use that up. All right, now I'm gonna stir all of this together and there's residual heat inside the pot. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to put the lid on again. I'm not turning this on at all. I'm just gonna put the lid on again and I'm gonna let it sit. I'm just gonna put the lid on and let it sit for a few minutes to sort of like let everything heat up together and come together, let all of the cheese melt, and when I come back in a few minutes, you'll see that everything will have come together perfectly. This is the cheesiest vegan mac and cheese you've ever seen in your entire life. I just want to quickly say, if for whatever reason your sauce doesn't thicken up properly, just turn your pot back on, leave the lid off, and put it on saute just for a couple of minutes. Watch it very carefully because it's easy for it to burn on the bottom on the saute feature, but the tapioca and the starches in there just need a little bit of time and a little bit of heat to activate to really thicken up. The last thing you want to do before you serve your mac and cheese is you want to taste it and make sure that it has enough salt or anything else that it might need. I don't know, you guys, that's pretty darn good. Look at that, you guys. Beautiful, vegan, super creamy, mac and cheese straight from the Instant Pot. If you make this recipe, please comment below and let me know how it turned out. I would love to hear. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you soon.